Hey, Rainollon here. Today's another build showcase, and it's Gara Prime, and she's amazing now. So, let's start with mods on Gara first. So, Gara got a Pseudo Exalt, which I'm going to show you very soon, but let's start with the mods on Gara first. So, the mods I'm using on Gara: Brief Respite for survivability, Planchet Footed for knockback immunity, Prime Continuity for ability duration, Umbra Intensify ability strength, Arc and Stretch for energy economy and range, Fleeting Expertise and Streamline for energy economy, Rolling Guard for more survivability, Auger Reach is a must-have. This synergizes really well with Brief Respite, so you can keep yourself alive most of the time, and Catalytic Shields, which is also another layer of shield gating. This is, in my opinion, a must-have. You're going to spam her one quite a lot, and it's going to keep you alive more than your second ability ever will. So, these are the mods. The Arcanes: Arcane Fury for melee damage on a critical hit. We are easily going to crit with her first ability, and Multi-Augmented for 60% ability strength when you kill 250 enemies. So, those are the Arcanes. For the stats, duration is positive, efficiency 175, which is capped, range is more than enough, and ability strength is more than enough. With Multi-Augmented, it's going to be over 200, which is quite nice. For the abilities, the passive didn't get changed, the passive is still good. Chance to create a Radiant Blind that lasts for 10 seconds. When Gara casts an ability, you're going to spam her first ability quite a lot, so this is going to trigger most of the time. First ability got heavily changed, which I'm going to show you the Pseudo Exalt, so I'm going to ignore this ability for now. Second ability gives you 9% damage reduction, and also if you use Shattering Storm, you can spread this to every enemy. So every enemy will take more damage from her one if you want to utilize this and stack your fourth ability. But I'm not a big fan of spamming this, pressing this, pressing this, pressing this. You know, that type of gameplay, I think it's not good, not fun at all. So I'm using Rolling Guard. Third ability was removed for Wrathful Advance. I am focusing on her first ability. So Wrathful Advance, what it does, it gives you a huge amount of critical chance, which is going to make her first ability hit really hard. And fourth ability, you can recast this or reuse it to extend the duration of your second ability, keeping the 90% damage reduction all the time. And also, if you use your first ability on your fourth ability, you're going to create a massive AoE that's going to damage enemies, and you stack damage. So if you constantly do, like I said, this and this and this and this, you're stacking the damage for your fourth ability, and you're going to nuke a very large area. But like me, if you don't really like that gameplay, you're going to enjoy this much more. So those are the abilities and the stats, the mods, the arcane, and I think it's time for me to show you the Pseudo Exalt. So let's start with the Pseudo Exalt called the Shattering Lash Prime. It's finally moddable. Finally. After so many years, I think it's been 8 years and it's finally moddable. So let's start with the mods. The stance, what it does is just tells you can tap it and hold it, that's it. For the mods, Prime Pressure Point for melee damage. You can, of course, utilize Condition Overload, which you prime enemies, you press your first ability, you will do a lot more damage, but believe me, you don't need to use this at all. Blood Rush and Weeping Wounds gives you so much critical chance instead of chance, and it finally works. 440% critical chance and 440% stat chance. Really, really nice. Galvanized Elementalist for status damage, Galvanized Steel for critical chance. Both of them have the exact same system. After 4 kills, they give you something. One gives you 120% status damage, and the other one gives you 120% critical damage, which is amazing. Greater Might for critical damage and critical chance. Spoiler Strike for melee damage. It does reduce your attack speed, but attack speed doesn't do anything. And Shocking Touch for electricity. These are the mods. I'm using Melee Influence. I have electricity, so on a electricity status effect, which we're going to proc most of the time, there's a 20% chance for all of those status effects, which is electricity, to spread in a 20 meter radius for 18 seconds. This is really good. It becomes from a 21 meter frontal nuke to a 20 meter nuke, which is really, really good. And it's also going to help you a ton at clearing. So that's the arcane. For the stats, range is 21 meters. You scale it with range mods, but you can of course also use reach. There it is. Reach gives you +3 range. Believe me, it's not worth it. Just scale range with range mods. Don't use this. It's like you're nerfing your damage. Combo duration is 20 seconds. I'm using primary secondary dexterity to prolong my duration from 5 seconds to 20 seconds. Critical chance is fine. Crit multi is average. Star chance is really good. And the total damage on holding the button is quite powerful. But I don't care about the hold part. I only care about the sweeping part, which you should also care about. The crit chance, crit multi, slash chance, all the same, but you have a very high chance to proc slash, and the total damage is ridiculously high. So these are the stats, the mods, the arcane, and I think it's time for me to show you the shards I use. So, give me just a second. For the shards I will highly recommend for you to go for are 2 yellow cast speed shards. This does work on her 1, making her 1 cast much faster, which means you're going to keep you alive more, and you're also going to DPS more. For the other 3 shards here, I will definitely recommend going for Tower Forge Crimson Archon shards for the 37.5 melee critical damage. This is going to make your first ability do even more damage, while also casting it much faster. So I think I'm done here. It's time for me to show you Gara finally in game. So let's start. And we are in. This is a survival. The map's called mod. It's at the Void against the corrupted enemies. I'm going to show you this build in here, and as you can see, it's clearing really well. Where are my enemies? There we go. This is Gara. In my opinion, this is better than Korra. Korra got nerfed by a decent amount, which personally I don't care that much. But yeah, this is like much more disgusting than Korra by a lot. Mostly because he has no line of sight. The influence is much more noticeable on Gara than Korra. It also has a much better single target DPS, much higher base damage, and it works with cast speed, making her cast her 1 much faster, as you can see. The 12x is all the time on you. There's no way for... Yep, influence, there we go. There's no way for you to die. The only downside I have with this ability is the vertical hit is kind of bad. But if you get used to it, believe me, this is like bread and butter of all exalted weapons. It's just so nice, and you're so tanky. You don't even need to use the second ability for 9% damage reduction. I'm not even using Raffle Advance. Remember one thing is, if you use Raffle Advance, you're going to do overkill damage, and overkill damage will lead to not proccing influence, which majority of our content is below level 200, so you won't be seeing some influence procs. I will advise you don't use Raffle Advance until you see something like more than level 400, I will say. Because right now, influence works when I use my first ability in proc electricity, but if I use Raffle Advance, electricity procs, I'm not proccing influence, as you can see. 2 million damage. You can also headshot with this, just so you know, you can headshot with her 1. Oh, it's so nice. Gonna sweep, sweep, sweep. It's like very, very powerful. The moment the Acolyte spawns and Boar, you're going to see me like 2-tap him. That's why I don't recommend Condition Overload. Mostly because you don't need it, as you can see. I'm doing millions of damage in seconds. Extremis units are also dying in seconds. If you really want to utilize it, go for it, but believe me, you don't need it. You're just overcomplicating your build. Alright, Acolyte is here. I'm going to use my Raffle Advance, and you're going to see I 2-tapped him. There he is. 1, 2, there it is. He's gone. He's gone. Of course, you can do the 1, 2, 4 stacking, doing this stuff. This also works, of course. The cast speed does help this a ton. You know, this works, but I think you don't need it at all. You don't need it at all. This is more than enough. I wish War spawns so I can show you against War as well. War has a really weird hitbox, but her one doesn't care. You're just going to kill him. I think I killed him in like one sweep attack. I think. And that's a massive problem because I don't remember. He spawned in and he disappeared, so I don't know if I hit him once or twice. I think that's more than enough. I think you've seen enough. Oh, maybe I can kill him. Give me a second. I have to kill him. No, he's going to yap a lot. Never mind. He's going to yap a lot and he's not going to spawn for another minute. So I think I'm done. Let me just extract and be right back. Gara became, now in my personal opinion, amazing. She's now very fast. She's definitely really well designed now, thanks to the changes with the Pseudo Exalt. She's kind of good for fast-paced game modes, thanks to her one doing a lot of damage, having no line of sight, and influence working. She's just good. You can utilize her in any game mode. You're going to be absolutely fine. I will highly recommend the build, the entire setup, Shards. She's very good. You can utilize the nuke build with the 4-2-1. You can utilize 1-2. You can utilize 4-1. You can raffle advance. It's like everything works. Her passive also works. Cast speed helps a ton with her passive. By you cast it really fast, you will proc your passive, blinding enemies, which is crowd controlling. It's good. Everything is good about her right now. I will highly recommend her. It's quite nice. So that's it. That's my Gara build. I hope you enjoyed the build. Thank you everybody for watching. Leave a like, sub, and see y'all next time. Thank you. Goodbye.